Creative is a brand strategy and design development partner, and our process is threefold. First, to help businesses clarify what makes them unique in their industry. Second, to help create a message and a brand identity that resonates with their prospects and their clients. And then third, to help connect that message consistently through every venue, including print, digital marketing, and automated marketing systems. Today's overview session is going to focus on the clarification phase, and Linda and Julie are going to be speaking to what's involved with that. Next week, on the 17th, we're going to get into the create phase, which covers a lot regarding what goes into making a great brand identity or logo, which I'm pumped about because that's my session. And then the last session on the 24th, Connect. We'll focus on how these components we're learning about in the first two sessions fits into your marketing sales system. So, and along the way, you guys, we're going to cover a ton of stuff. So please, we welcome and encourage any questions that you may have. Just put them into the chat window, as Jean said, and she'll field those at the end. And then the last 30 minutes, we'll get into those. So anyway, let's get going. I'll hand it over to Linda. It is all yours.
I'll hand it over first to Julie. Julie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'll say a couple words. So my name is Julie Kowalski, and I am President and Chief Performance Strategist at Creative Partnerships. And at Creative Partnerships, we help small businesses change the story about what's possible for them. And the people who we work with are small business leaders who had a reason for starting their business, and it usually is no longer very well correlated to the reality of running their business. They're stressed, they're overwhelmed, they feel like they don't have the resources and the talent to do what they need to do, and so their work has become more drudgery than dream. And what we do is help them flip that picture. And we do it not just in a philosophical way, meaning they're happier about coming to work, but we transform their ability to be profitable, to hold on to good, talented people, to draw those people into their business, and to make big problems go away, like reducing absenteeism by 47% or improving their company value by 35% in less than 2 years. So we change the story about what's possible for small businesses, and I'm Julie Kowalski.
Well, thank you for joining us. We are going to move right into this presentation, if I am able to move it through. Yes. Bill mentioned the 3 sessions. Today, we want to focus on clarify, and to do this well, we want to make sure we get everybody on the same page. So some of this, to many of you, may seem rudimentary, but you would not believe how many people don't define a brand the same way. Because you hear people say, oh, get some branded items. The 3 major automotive brands today are in the news. We want to rebrand. What is a brand? Your brand is more than your logo. It is everything that touches your business. And it's the experiences that people have, their emotional reaction, their memory, based on their experiences by everything they touch, see, feel, and experience with your organization. So there are intangible pieces and tangible pieces about your brand. We want to talk today about the intangible pieces that form the solid foundation for your brand. So when we do this with audiences, I'll throw this up and what are you thinking? So people inevitably go, right? McDonald's. So when you drive past and you see those 2 giant yellow curvy French fries, do you go, I want to go there? Or I don't like McDonald's. So we like to have people raise their hand and we measure the brand equity of McDonald's. And if we were coordinated, but we're not going to take time to do that today in the room, have people raise their hand. Sometimes the brand equity for McDonald's in the room is 50-50. It's never really overwhelming, which is kind of surprising to me. But McDonald's has worked very hard in their corporate headquarters to impact what we're feeling right now behind our computers. the brand equity for McDonald's. And they do it through intangible and tangible ways. So let's today, again, get back to those intangible pieces, the foundational pieces of our brand that will impact our brand equity and how people think and feel about our business. To do this, I think it's helped, and we've worked with businesses, small businesses, since 1993. And sometimes people are just like, this brand stuff is so ethereal. And we want to help people get a very clear picture so that it's useful to you in your small business. So we have this analogy. Business is like a person. A person has an identity, and so does a business. They both have brand identities. So your name, a business has a name, so does a person. A face, obviously, the face of a business is its logo. And next week, we're going to do some really cool stuff showing you the science behind the impression of a face with your logo. An individual and a business has a style, personality, core values that drive behavior, and the value that each of us brings and our business brings. If we're not bringing value, we're not in business. So all of these things create an experience. When you're in a networking event at the great Auburn Hills Chamber, and there's a lot of people in that room, and someone walks through the door that you know, you immediately identify them by their face. Their name, you hope, comes to mind if you need to talk to them, and your feelings about them, whether they're or negative, start to surface. Do you have a good experience with that person? Do you have struggles? Have you had struggles with that person? Are they more negative? Are they all about themselves? Their brand will cause you to either be drawn to them or drawn away from them. So that's what we're wanting to work with, those intangible things, those experiences that create a brand experience for you to build that strong brand. So what is branding? Branding is a thoughtful process to take care of those foundational pieces, codify the abstract pieces of your brand so that they will inform the design and messaging, your marketing, your sales, your operations, all those pieces of your business. It's worth the time. One of the things, there's how people define branding, again, is just out there. But when we've been working with people in our businesses, we've identified 2 goals to keep it simple. Everything we do, we want to do 2 things in branding. We need to first build trust. No one will give you $1 if they don't trust you. There's a lot of ways we're talking about building trust today, and also next week and the week following. Marty Newmeyer, who wrote the Brand Gap, said, trust is the ultimate shortcut to a buying decision and the bedrock of modern branding. When you trust someone, hey, this financial advisor has been great for me. You got to go to him. I trust that guy. He knows what he's talking about. It's the greatest shortcut to a buying decision. The second goal is to be remembered. How can we be remembered in this noisy, cluttered world? We have to be distinctive. We have to differentiate ourselves. Jack Trout, a great marketing guru, wrote in Differentiate or Die, for a brand to survive and thrive, it must build an identity that differentiates it from its competition. We're going to talk about differentiators as we're going forward. I'd love to stop and ask for questions at this point, but I know we're gonna, I'm just going to move through. Throw your questions in the chat. What makes a brand strong? Let's talk about it. Your brand. So here's kind of a walk with me a little bit on this little exercise. People come to us and they say, I've got a product, a service. I need a logo. I need something to say about it, and a website, and marketing collateral, and packaging, and we got to get on social media, grab our social media pages, and we need a sales process to sell our stuff. And we go, okay, so what's unique about what you're doing? Oh, okay, we'll get our differentiators. And then what are we going to say? What makes you different? So many times, those key foundational pieces of a brand have not been developed. So we go on with the operations and all the other pieces that make for, I gotta move this thing so I can see your brand. And we're finally getting to, at the end, customer experience, your purpose, your mission, your vision, and your core values and beliefs. Those are somewhere in the background. I hope this slide looks confusing and overwhelming, because that's how people see their brand. Where do we start? Well, we want to eliminate the confusing, eliminate the overwhelm, and bring businesses, business owners, marketing directors through a clearly identified process. You can do this on your own. You can do this with someone else. We want to help you clarify your brand. So I love the analogy of a tree. Your business, your organization is unique. It's organic, like a tree. A tree starts small, it grows and grows and bears fruit. The same as with your business. A tree, any organization has internal and external obstacles it needs to face. In order for your brand to really succeed and be a strong brand, you want to build those foundational pieces of your brand. They're the roots. They're the strength and the trunk of your tree. Those pieces we were talking about before, your website, your brochure, your business cards, those are the leaves, those are the tactics, those are the scattered pieces that people get really focused on, because that's the visual stuff. But these other things, your purpose, why you do what you do, your core values that guide your behavior, your commitment to your employees and your customer, your vision, how is the world going to be a different place because of what you do, your mission, that's what you do to fulfill your purpose, your brand promise, and your key differentiators. These are the foundational pieces of your brand, and they inform those other things. Once, and you'll see as we throw out some examples, once you see, wow, we have a really impactful mission statement, this is what makes us unique, then the rest of the things become the things that people see, touch, feel, and experience, become clearer and easier to produce. So isn't that a nice organized picture?
It's a beautiful tree.
That can be your brand. And when you build a good brand blueprint, you keep coming back to it. It's the foundation of your brand. And your marketing, remember we talked about building trust? It's consistent. You're not just, oh, well, we got a trade show. What should we say on the banners? Or shoot, sales are down. Let's print out some coupons. You're not reacting to things. You're going back to what makes us unique in our value that we bring. So let's move on to the brand blueprint. This is something that we've developed to help businesses get everybody on the same page. It's those foundational pieces with some other things on this we won't get to. It's your infographic of your brand, and you can create this for yourself in PowerPoint. You can take your logo. We'll show you some examples of a brand blueprint that we've done for some clients. And we want to touch on some of these main foundational pieces in this session of our talk today. And this is where I want to hand it over to Julie.
Okay, so thank you, Linda, and great job teeing this up. We're going to talk about mission, vision, values, and purpose. And I've been consulting with businesses for over 30 years. And typically, when I bring up the subject of mission, vision, values, and purpose, they have a reaction of disinterest. And a part of that is the point we want to make today, because these are so important to your business, but people see them as fluffy. And I think they've always been, over the 30 years that I've been working with businesses, they've always been important. But what I'm noticing now is that they're more important than ever, because previously they were mostly important internally. They were a tool that we used internally to define who we are and where we were going. But now the whole world is interested in these, which is how they became so important to your brand. And so we're going to start with purpose. And your purpose will tell the story about why your business exists. That's the reason why you want to have a purpose, and you want to be able to tell that story to your clients. And there are many ways to do this. I want to share 2 purpose statements with you. So these are, one company says they exist to promote good health, and another company says they exist to help fans find fun. And if you want your brand to be compelling, these 2 examples here give you an opportunity to see a difference between what might be perceived as compelling by other folks and what may be perceived as, you know, okay, great. So you're a healthcare company and you exist to have people promote good health. Whereas when you state your purpose is to help fans find fun, that's great. And it's also a purpose that never changes. So no matter what you're doing through your business, it doesn't matter if you're focusing this year on dietary supplements, if there's a new vaccine that's come out, your purpose should stand solid regardless of what's going on and allow you to pivot into different things. I mentioned that we changed the story about what's possible for small businesses, and I started doing that in the training field, and then I got into more of a consulting field, and now I focus more on operations. But I've still been changing the story about what's possible for small businesses. So as we go through these examples, I just want you to take a look at, do you have a defined purpose? Do you have a story about why your business exists, and how do you articulate it? And when you're thinking about it as a part of your brand, how do you articulate it in a way that draws people to you? Because I'm really drawn to a company that wants to help me find fun. A company that exists to promote good health, they're like a dime a dozen to me. Next, we're going to talk about having a clear and motivating vision mission. And the mission tells the story of what you do, and it tells the story from the customer's perspective. This is critical to your brand because your brand is not about you. Your brand tells the story of your business, but your brand is a tool that is there for other people to be able to resonate with and relate to. And so here's a couple examples of mission statements. And this is the same company that we just saw that they're in the business of providing good health. So they provide exceptional pharmacy healthcare services that are effective for their customers. And as a mission statement, it does tell you what they do, but it doesn't necessarily tell you what's good for their customers about what they do. Here's the entertainment company's mission. We connect fans with their favorite teams, shows, and artists and introduce them to ones they'll love next. So once again, we're looking at 2 different examples. And sometimes people say to me, well, it's easier for an entertainment business to come up with a compelling vision that is clear and motivating than it is for a pharmaceutical firm. And I challenge that. I worked one time with a healthcare business that provided bariatric surgery. And when these owners purchased the business, and it's like there's nothing sexy, fun, clear, or motivate. Well, bariatric surgery is motivating. There's nothing fun about it. There's nothing inspiring about it. And after we worked together, they transformed their message to, we provide overweight people an opportunity to have a new life. And it totally transformed how people saw what they did and what they had to offer. So that's how powerful your mission can be. And again, making sure that it's describing the story of what you do.
And Julie, too, when it changes how customers perceive you, the other customers we don't want to forget about are our employees, our team, and it changes how they feel about the work that they're doing. There's a higher purpose.
Yeah, you're right, Linda. And again, never has that been more essential than now with the demographic changes that are going on. And, you know, people are caring about organizations and what they stand for. People are really paying attention, and the millennial workforce has a strong preference to work for a company that they can believe in. But it's not just that, you know, people believe in you, but also this combination of different messages helps us help our employees know what to expect and know what's important in terms of working for a given organization. So I'll talk a little bit about the vision for a better future. So your vision tells the story of your lofty future state. And this is the one that tends to make, you know, eyes roll back in the head of folks that are, you know, see these things as sort of, as Linda refers to them, as intangible things, like how are they going to impact my business? If you research the performance of organizations that have strong vision statements and that work with strong vision statements, you will see that they perform better, consistently perform better in the marketplace. And I worked for a while at Plant Moran, and Plant Moran is very strong on their mission, vision, values. And you knew what they were when the day you're hired. You're given a little gold ruler because it stands for the golden rule, and it's always on your desk or in your drawer. And the energy that it creates within your organization and outside your organization is exciting. So a couple things about a lofty future state. You're not really looking for reality here. My vision is to transform the way that people look at problems around the world. And I may never reach everybody around the world, but it's not holding me back. It's simply saying that's my goal, is to reach as far as I can. So here's the healthcare company's vision. We aspire to be the first choice across our industry for affordable and effective healthcare solutions. And so you see that they're focused on an impact in their industry, and they want to be known for affordable and effective healthcare solutions. And that is actually a pretty realistic vision. But whether it inspires you, well, you'd have to say so yourselves. The entertainment company's vision is we aspire to make meaningful moments of joy available to people everywhere. So if you can imagine that you're an employee working for this company, you know not only what you do, that you find entertainment options and think ahead for your customers, but you know that this is your long-term goal. This is everything you should do, should be focused in this direction. You also know as a customer or a consumer whether that statement appeals to you or whether the other statement appeals to you. Linda, you look like you might have something on the tip of your tongue.
I'm like, oh, word, I want to get into that healthcare company and say, so yeah, the first one is all about us. So there is an internal vision statement and vision and goals you have an internal. You don't put that on your website. Like if I saw this on their website, I'd be like, good for you guys. You know, you want to be the first choice. It's about you. If they were to phrase that in a way that we want to open doors for better health for people of every economic situation, whatever economic situation they feel in, or something more outward toward others, or we envision a world where, because of the work we do, great health care and health is not hindered, no one's stopped from getting it, or something that's motivating. So people are coming to work going, wow, I'm bringing better health care to people who wouldn't have gotten it. There's a way to look deeper in it rather than to just be corporate ease. It's so safe. And the second one is definitely people focused. You could see people coming to work and be other focused and more engaged with that. I love those examples, Julie.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
You know what I'm wondering too? I I think the core values slide didn't get to you. That might be. Do you see it there?
No,
So-
I don't. As I think of it, I do not.
What could go wrong? Tee that one right up.
Oh, I tell you what, I feel like I am more reliable than technology these days, and that's pretty scary. But
So
yeah.
we do want to talk about core values.
Yep.
And Julie, you can say that. I just want to say one more thing about vision and motivating. We were working with an orthodontist, and he wanted to tell his employees that their vision was to make like $1.5 million that year. And I said, that's really good for you, but is it really good for your employees? Is that a vision that they can get excited about? What if you said we helped 3,000 kids get smiles this year? 3,000 kids and adults, and they went into their world more confidently and they changed their world. Let's go for 4,500. Let's see if we can double that. Think of that. Think of the ripples that we're going to create with another 1,500 kids, teenagers, and adults with more confident smiles. I mean, I don't know. That could kind of give me goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point, and we'll talk about what can go wrong, but that is really the whole point of these tools, is to create an inspiration and things that people can resonate with. Values are really important because values tell the story about what you believe in, and they make a promise about what people can count on you for. And so when you're looking at values, and you guys have probably all seen value statements somewhere, sometimes value statements are pretty predictable, like we believe in customer service. And they have a definition that says, you know, we do the right thing for our customers, and maybe something like nothing is too far for us to travel. The challenge with having customer service as a value is that customer service at this point in life is an expectation. You don't get extra credit for being customer focused anymore. So values give you an opportunity to really dig deep into your mission and your vision and your purpose and say, what do we need to be? How do we need to behave in order to bring those things to reality? So the value that I shared for the entertainment company, their value was brilliance. And I'm going to probably trash it greatly by not having it in front of me, but I'll say essentially they said, we turn over every rock to find hidden treasures that will inspire, delight, and impress our clients, something like that. But you see, the whole notion of having a value called brilliance is not common. And it tells everybody, the folks who work for you and the folks who are interested in your brand, it tells you, man, I want to be with them because they have my interest at heart. They're not looking for predictable stuff they can jam down my throat. They're looking for stuff that's going to flip my switch and really get me excited. And so let's talk about all four of these things, creating them, what can go wrong and can sabotage them. And I want to reiterate something that Linda mentioned in different words, but these components here, they are the foundation of your brand, and they're the foundation of your business. So if you mess them up, it's a pretty big deal. Let's look at some things that could go wrong. First of all, companies have disappointing experiences with these things when they fail to recognize that these are not 4 paragraphs on a piece of paper. They are essential tools that impact everything in their business. They impact the people they hire. They impact the people they fire. They impact what your strategic plan focuses on. They impact whether you expand to grow larger or whether you stay small and tighten your community. So when we fail to recognize how important these are as business tools and treat them like we do our other business tools, things don't go well. Next is we develop them as if they're some necessary evil, like you have to fill out, if you want to be a woman business leader, you have to fill out an ungodly application. It's no fun, but you do it because you have to go through it. Developing and treating these 4 things is really important. And Linda was talking about, man, if I got my hands on that healthcare company, I'd tell them this and this and this. That's the difference between having someone who knows how to develop a mission, vision, and values statement and someone who is just going through the motions. Another thing that can go wrong is that we fail to make them compelling enough to win hearts and minds. This is my big thing these days. Too few people are focused on winning hearts and minds. We need to be creating a brand that makes people want to be around us, know about us. I have brands that I support. I have a coffee brand that I support, and I don't even drink coffee. But I buy coffee from them because I love what they stand for. I love who they are. And that is a really cool brand, that someone goes out of their way to purchase your product for other people because of who you are. I don't even know if the coffee's that good. No one's ever told me it wasn't, but I don't drink coffee.
It's brand loyal.
Yeah. And the last is relentlessly keep them front of mind. As Linda said, sometimes we develop these things and we have a rah-rah meeting and we tell people about them, but we do not relentlessly keep them front of mind. And I remember when I worked at Plant Moran, one of their values is we are a jerk-free community. And that means that being a jerk is not an option. Now, a lot of people have values that say what they do and they don't do, but I can promise you from experience that if you miss that memo, you get a talking to. And whether you miss it on purpose or by accident, it's not something tucked away. It's something that employees are held accountable for, the business is held accountable for. So if you don't have your mission, vision, and values, or you're thinking they might need a little refresher, keep these 4 things in mind because they are the root system, the majority of the root system for your brand. Thanks, Linda. I think we're back to you.
Super. So if Jean, you can help me share my screen again. And while we're doing that, there are so many pieces of the core values, that it's important to know how much running your business with core values and your purpose and mission and vision. If you want to jot this down, if you're interested in the subject, Dina Dwyer wrote a book, Values Inc. She's known very well for her work in values. She ran a hugely growing franchise company that helped franchisees. And those franchisees that had good, strong value outperformed consistently those businesses that didn't. They also value higher, they have better cultures and lower turnover. So how your core values show up and how intentional you are about them, we love hearing how our clients reinforce core values at team huddles, core value shout out meetings. So we could have a whole webinar series on core values.
Yep.
Let me go through this now. There it is, Julie. There's that slide.
There it is.
You did a really good job. Okay, so we want to, I'm going to go skip through these that Julie did. Sorry about that. I could have done that on my own. What we want to make sure you focus on, remember we talked about the 2 goals of branding is to build trust. All of this stuff that Julie just went over is building trust. And the second one is to be remembered. And to do that, you need to be distinctive. What is your unique value? And we have actually sat at the table in a C-suite meetings with business owners and we go, okay, so what is your key differentiator? And they go, we do financial services just like everybody else. We make pizza. You are kidding me. And I like to call this low business self-esteem. I think we all have it at some point. Like, it's just us. Well, there is something unique because you're unique and the way you created your business is unique. let's dig down and find it. So we want to find, with every company we work with, 3 key differentiators. They're not easily copied. If you have 3 things that differentiate you, so you don't want to go for the lowest price, that's a hard race to win. You'll get to the bottom very quickly. So you're a builder, you're a financial advisor, you're a hairdresser, you're an insurance salesman, whatever you are, what are the 3 things that you do? If you don't have things that differentiate you, create them. It might be your process. It might be the approach. It might be an added way you bring value. So then we want to focus on your tiebreaker. So if you're traveling, we talked about the core values that are lame. Like if you have an airplane, you're gonna choose an airline that has seat belts and well-trained pilots. I'm going with that airline. If that's what you're promoting, then your airline is not offering much value. What is the key differentiator? Oh, you're not going to find dry pretzels on our airline. You're going to find this and this and this, and it didn't cost a whole lot, but that makes people want to go. For us, it's Delta, because of this reason, this reason, this reason. They have 3 key differentiators, and one of them is their amazing customer service. So, okay, and the I'm going to get into airline stories, and I don't want to go there. So dig deep for your differentiators. You've got them. And if you're not hiring a designer or a creative firm, meet at the opposite end of the table with somebody who you can see is they're good at pulling something out. They've got journalistic skills, or they're like the social worker among all your friends. If you're a small business and you got to have somebody from the outside help you with these things.
Who's a good listener?
If you're, I've heard it said, how do you describe the wine you are when you're inside the bottle? You don't see your true value. You don't see your uniqueness. Others can write the label. Yes. So get others to help you write the label. This is a great quote from Jeffrey. It's kind of long, but he's kind of an outspoken guy. The best thing you can do right now is take a close look at every aspect of your business, your products, your services, and determine at least one area where you have the potential for recognition and market dominance, and focus on that with every ounce of power. So we could get into examples of key differentiators, and we might if we have time, but I want to make sure we get through this brand blueprint. We want to talk about your brand promise. Is this all just brand speak? Your brand promise is the unique benefit that you consistently deliver. At the end of the day, did we do this? For us, our brand promise is that we're going to capture your brand with creative excellence. Did we do that? We can ask you. It's specific enough to address your unique benefit, and you can ask each customer, did we do this for you? It's very customer focused. So if if somebody promises something, it sets your expectation here. And if they don't meet that promise, you're much more disappointed as if they never said it. You didn't have that expectation set. So I just thinking right now, years ago, before Target had vegetables and groceries. Remember those days? Target just, I really don't shop at Target anymore, but they're just not close to me. But I did at the time. And I started getting these flyers in the mail for these beautiful die-cut brochures of vegetables, this cornucopia of these beautiful vegetables just spilling off the page. And they were making sandwiches and they were making salads. And I went, wow, they spent a lot of money to let us know, hey, we're coming in the market for fresh produce, and it is fresh. And it set my expectation high. These were expensive. They were beautiful. They were all about Target has fresh produce and vegetables. So I hopped off to Target with my coupon that was included in the beautiful brochure. And I got there and I couldn't believe it. Was like, what? They had these lame little kiosk island things of produce. And you know, you go to your Meijer, Kroger, whatever, they got the mist on, everything looks fresh and crisp. These things look dried out and sad. I was like, oh my word, this is a clear example of they set my expectation here. If they would have just said, hey, come get some bananas if you need them while you're getting your hairspray, that would have been okay. But I was grossly disappointed and never thought Target can win in that space. So make sure that you can keep that promise that you're going to deliver. It's fun to help cut, because when remember you got your key differentiator and all of this weaves together through this process. It's very cool. It's very exciting to see light bulbs going off on people's heads, eyes, minds. When you've got your key differentiator, that's your unique solution, you're delivering that. It ties into your purpose and your mission. And are we delivering this to every customer? It's very exciting to see it come to pass. So we're just going to send you some examples here, show you some examples of brand promise examples from our clients. And I'm going to flip through these quickly so we have time for questions. Bake Ease, here's their slogan, fresher, longer, easier. We're making exacting quality accessible to independent bakers. And these should give you a hint about what they do. It'd be really fun to spend more time talking about these. Pack Spec, their slogan, reliability in every measure. Reliable precision is engineered in every package. Did we do this for you, for every customer? You can ask every customer this. It's very focused on the people that we need to serve. Pallets Law, and these guys are all great rebranding story. Innovative landlord advocates. Pallets Law commits to be readily accessible to fiercely protect the property rights of every client. Did we fiercely protect your property rights? So they were ones at the beginning. I was going to hop back to the purpose and mission. They were ones at the beginning when we started. They're like this. Yeah, we're like the lower trenches of the law world.
We're the ground page.
Landlord advocates. We're landlord tenant attorneys. We're like the scum of lawyers. And as we went through the rebranding with them, and we learned about what they did, like seriously, people are doing that in apartment buildings and townhouses and making it miserable for other tenants to live there, and property owners have nothing to do with that. Property owners who have put their entire savings into this building, they can't get rid of this person who's disturbing the peace for everybody, and you help that. What you're doing is you're building safer, more desirable communities, and you're protecting property rights. That's part of an American foundation. And as we walked through and saw the purpose of what they were doing, the end result, it was really cool to see the transformation. It was really like their shoulders were higher, and they started talking differently. And they proudly say we're innovative landlord advocates, and their key differentiators are we're focused on landlord. It's not something we do on the side. We've created software, not easily copied. They've done a great job with their rebranding. And then Sterling Heights, innovating living. They're known for Innovation Corridor, and their promise is to create an environment of collaboration and reasonable risk to invite lasting and beneficial solutions to all community stakeholders. They could challenge themselves and say, are we doing this as a community? This is just a funny. I left so many an aching heart, and it's tearing me apart because you can't drive to the bank in a beat up brand. I'm singing the broken brand promise blues. We've heard of companies, we could get back to airlines again, who have really trashed, deeply bruised, or damaged their brand by disappointing customers from what their expectations are. So let's fly into the 16-second story. We're going to have time. We're going to do this. This is building your message, and this is fun. And I don't want you to think of these as all disjointed because they weave together. We're going to take that key differentiator, your unique solution, and build it into a compelling message. When you stand up at a networking event, do you drone on and on about what you do? Or do you tell something that makes people go, what's that? I want to learn more. If you have a 16-second story, you're going to be catching heads because you start with the problem people have. When you start with a problem, it creates a psychological hook, a story loop, and people want to know what's the solution. If I say, there's coffee over in the corner. I'm not going to get this example right. There's coffee over in the corner. You go, okay, there's coffee in the corner. It's like, did you know there's coffee in the corner? And we don't know if we should have decaf or regular, creamer or flavor. I don't know. What should we do? That's just off the cuff. That wasn't planned, that example. So their problem, we've got better examples than that one. It creates a story loop. What's the solution? That's your key differentiator, the thing that you bring, your tiebreaker, and their happy ending. So people want to get that problem solved. Their ears are going to perk up. Remember, we don't want to do business with everybody. We can't. We want to do business with our ideal clients. You want their ears to perk up. Oh, I have that problem, and I'm intrigued by your solution. So let's look at an example of a 16-second story. The problem for this financial firm's clients and their solution and their happy ending. The problem, people are unsure about who they can trust with an investment plan to build their wealth. They have a compliance officer. We have to be really careful about what we say, but we want to create some tension in our problem statement. Their unique solution, we work to elevate every client's investment experience with compassionate service and our defend and advance process for building wealth. That may seem like a mouthful, but I'll tell you the story in a minute. Giving people the solid confidence in their investment plan and in their future. So when Executive Wealth Management went through their rebranding, we gave out these story cards and we said, just memorize them. Memorize them and get them in your head. You'll be able to tweak it to your own personal style and it will come off very naturally. You may not talk about compassionate service if it's not relevant right there, but you definitely want to get that key differentiator, their defend and advance process, because it is very unique for a firm of their size. So they had that event. They did a really cool thing. People had to record themselves on their phones and send them in, and then they had a vote to make sure people were doing it. One of the partners came back. Oh, and this was funny too. The partners was one of those ones that said, I have no idea how to talk about myself. A very successful financial advisor. So what do you say about yourself? At the beginning of the rebranding, he said, I have no idea how to talk about myself. After this 16-second story, they come back. One of the partners said, I got on a flight the next day and someone asked me what I do. And in the past, I would have said, I'm a financial advisor. I know you don't want to hear about it. He goes, well, I help people who are unsure about their investment plan, how they're going to build wealth. My company has a unique defend and advance proprietary process only available to our clients. And now they have confidence about their future. And he's like, he came back and was like, I sold the job. I mean, I got there like, what? Tell me more. Because it's different. It's unique. It creates that story loop. So we told you we'd show you some examples of brand blueprints. Here's the brand's infographic. This is Augies, a really great commercial cleaning company. We won't get into it all, but you can see their core values on the left. They did it in a really cool way with an acronym that helps you remember it. And their purpose, mission, vision. Some companies build the purpose and mission statement together. That can work too. There's no exact science or rules as long as we're getting this right. Their slogan, their symbol story in the middle. Why this? What does this mean? What is the story their symbol tells? And if you want to hear more, you got to come back next week. We love having logos with meaning that get the logo tells all this brand blueprint stuff, and you can use it in your onboarding. It's very exciting. Here's another one for a nonprofit. How do you get 200 volunteers talking about this organization in the same way? You build the brand blueprint, and it's the leader's job to repeat, repeat, repeat. I love Alan Mullally's story at Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor was a mess when he took it over in 2006, and he got a little card. It said, one plan, one goal, one team. And he had that vision and mission statement very clear to everyone. And I have heard, I didn't work there, that tens of thousands of employees were carrying that card. He turned it around. So You've got to get the language and the message, and that's why it's great to get this foundation. This is another great story. David and Darian Bobby, they're started over, I think it's 30 years ago now, father-son team. When we started to work with them, actually Darian called us, the son, and he said, we want to go to a website. Remember my first slide about starting out? We want to go to a website, and the web company said, tell us about your brand. He's like, I was really embarrassed. Like, I don't know what to say about it. What do you mean our brand? Which I totally get it. So we worked, they spent, this can be done in 6 weeks, 3 months. They really took a deep dive on this. They wanted everything to be unique, and they love this. It's blown up in their warehouses. It's on every call center's desk. This is who we are. And as they're growing, that brand is being built out, and that DNA is built into each person. So it's different. Each company's different. And I forgot what I was going to say, but now they're confident about their brand.
It's
Darian.
2:30, Linda.
Pardon?
It's 2:30. Just want you to wrap it up.
Okay, this is it. So now you see those foundational pieces inform the marketing. Their customer satisfaction, they got A ratings, they put it out there. They wanted to restore credibility to the home improvement industry. That was their mission. They want educated customers, creating service brands that they can trust, and lasting value, their brand promise, and then another differentiator. So now that we have those roots, we can develop consistent marketing messages and visuals, videos, all around that. So this is the tool that we have outlined. Today we did the blue column. This is the foundational pieces of your brand. We can email these out to you, and we're also going to email to you a PowerPoint brand blueprint template that you can fill in, and no condemnation if you don't have it together. We've come to companies that have been in business 30 and 50 years, and their core values are somewhere they don't know. They've never worked through these things. So they want to take time to do it, and pieces iterate and change and morph as you go. There we go. How did I do on time? 2:31. Question and answers.
Okay, Bill, it's yours.
Were there any questions, Jean, that anybody rifled over?
Not any yet.
I don't see any in the chat either, but I think there's no question that is too small. We get questions from people that it may seem overwhelming, or how long does it take? Where do you get help? How can you choose a creative partner?
What if you don't have any differentiators?
Everybody does.
No, I know, but those are questions
You
people
don't
have.
feel like you do. I'm just a photographer. I don't know. Everybody has creative, individual, unique DNA.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So I have one question that came in, and just anonymously. So if you're trying to work through, you've figured out your mission, vision, and values, and you want to identify your key differentiators, but you think that they're very common and similar to what everybody else is, how would you start to spark a conversation about maybe drilling down to identify what those are? They could potential, like a good potential of what good key indicators might be. Or differentiators, sorry.
Am I muted? No. Julie, do you want to start? Do you want me to
Go ahead.
start? It really is taking a look at the pieces of the business. And is it a product? Is it a service? Looking at the process. Here's a funny story about a key differentiator. One day I got in the mail a flyer. It's another flyer story from Little Caesars. And so, here in the Detroit area, was it Howie's? Hungry Howie's has the crusts, the deep dish.
They get the flavored crust. That's their differentiator.
Okay. No, what's whatever. Little Caesars comes through. Little Caesars has this amazing deep dish pizza picture, and it says, now with caramelized cheese edges. It's like, caramelized cheese edges, that just means you threw the cheese to the edge of the pan and it caramelized when it cooked. Like, that is nothing. And I laughed at they're really struggling for a key differentiator in this deep dish pizza market.
Well, but what's interesting is if you're one of those people who goes immediately and starts picking the caramelized cheese off the sides, so it's a very nuanced and tight market. It's not like a general market, but so they picked out a differentiator, but maybe not for a population big enough to impact.
The thing is,
Well,
it's memorable though. It is memorable. It's another way of looking at something that you see every time you get pizza. It's just they put the terminology on it from a different angle. It's like social distancing. Who would have ever used that term, social distancing, until this pandemic? I mean, it's just a phraseology on something that's like avoiding people. You know, whatever. I like it. It's memorable.
So you can,
no pun intended.
about what Bill said is you can brand it to make it different. So Rocket Mortgage, oh my word, Dan Gilbert's company, Quicken Loans, they brand, like they make mortgaging sound, getting a mortgage sound exciting. Rocket Mortgage. I forget some of the, I would listen to hear their ad, their audio ad, and I'd be like, oh my word, these guys are amazing at their branding. They're really a technology company. They've just created the software to make it go faster, and they applied it to mortgage. So then they brand it, make it sound really cool and hip to a different generation. And I want to go with them. So sometimes it is just magnifying it. Let's brand this. Hey, you guys do this process. I don't know that anybody else is doing this. Let's call it the fast track process and create a little logo for it. And it's your service brand, like we showed for Atlas Home Improvement. They created their own service brands. The other thing, Jean, is when you're an outsider, and that's why we really encourage people to get someone from outside the company, because you're used to your own terminology, you're used to your own genius, and you don't see what's unique. When we were working with Executive Wealth, they have that defensive proprietary process, and they invested a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of risk to develop the system and bring in-house analysts, financial analysts. They never talked about it. It was just something we did. And so we're sitting across the table from them, and I'm going, oh wait, what is this? Oh, Fortunatus, wait, what does it do? You're kidding. This is like your secret sauce. So once they hear somebody outside the firm that, they start to see it. Oh, this isn't so common. So let's put it out there. Does that help answer your question?
Can I add just a couple quick thoughts? Well, actually, it's one comment, and that is building on what Linda said about going outside of yourself. Asking your clients, the people who really love you, who come back time and again, asking them why they do business with you and what they think differentiates you. I was, when you tell people that you're a, leadership coach, it's like, okay, you and 40 million other people, la-di-da. So I went to my clients and started asking them, what do you like about working with me? And one of the things they said, which I totally was unaware of, was that I have this green foggy stuff from, I'm just teasing. What they said was that when I work with them, it's almost indistinguishable as between me and their team. And from employee up to senior leader, I feel like a partner to them, like I fit in. So now that gives me something that I can build on in terms of differentiating. And then I'll share with you the time when I was the client. So I have this wonderful seamstress who is about as, I don't even know the metaphor for how undiplomatic she is, but she's just like, take it back. Makes you look fat and ugly. Take it back, and I'm could you just say the color's not good on me, So she wanted to move out of her business and grow her business as a personal shopper. And I said, you know, the fact that you can so efficiently help people pick stuff out, because she helped me personal shop at times. But I said, I never doubt when you help me that I'm going to walk out with something that I never should have bought, that I never wear because it doesn't look good on me. And I said, you know, maybe just build on that sort of edgy personality that you have and use it as a compelling value proposition rather than a deficit. So getting feedback from people who work with you and know you well is a great resource.
Yeah, Julie, that's an excellent point. I'm really glad you brought it up, because to me, the freeing thing about all of this is that you get to be you. So you don't have to fake. For a long time, I thought we had, at Identity Creative, we had to look like a bigger firm. And then I looked back, I was like, well, wait, the clients that are our ideal clients, they know the size of our firm. They like working with us. They like the team element. So why am I trying to make our website look like we're a big firm? Let's just be us. This is who we are.
Yeah.
And we attract the people that want to work with us. It's very freeing. I kind of picture like a penguin. I think it's a Gary Larson cartoon. The penguin, the different penguin in the sea of penguins singing, "I gotta be me." So I heard there was one billboard of a bank that said, yeah, banking is boring, but we do it like no other. Something like, it is what it is. So yes, totally. Don't try and stifle and say to her, well, if you're going to go into that business, you better change your style.
Yep. Leverage what you're good at.
Is that helpful?
Very, yeah, thank you. I would too, for who asked that question. Okay, go ahead, Linda, sorry.
There's no hard questions that have come to us, but I do know that a lot of times people have just a little bit of time to give. So we can end this session if you want to do that, Jean.
Anybody have any other questions, comments? Those of you on the, you're welcome to unmute if you have some feedback or thoughts as far as about your own businesses and your brands.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. You're going to have me go back and look at my vision, mission, and values, see how tight, sound, and unique they are. Thank you so much.
Great.
I'm a big fan of Fresh Eyes, Sonia, and I just really encourage you, get some fresh eyes to look at it. Not just you looking at it with fresh eyes, but you know, sometimes you place it in front of someone and you say, read this and tell me what it means to you. And then when you hear what they say, you're like, that's what you get from it. So that's really good guidance in terms of how you might want to pivot, or they might say exactly what you were hoping they say, and then you know you're in.
Okay. Good advice. Thank you.
You bet.
And Sonia, if you can stay with us for this long, please email them to us. Feel free. We're just going to hop on a 15-minute call and give you our feedback.
For sure.
Okay. Where's your email?
We'll send it out to you.
Oh, okay.
Or you can go to our website and fill out the contact and say, hey, this is Sonia. I was on the call today. Let's set up a call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And I'm happy to give you feedback too. So the more you get, the more data you have.
Yep, that's what it's all about. Leverage the opportunities. You know, this is a lot of people are hurting right now. So if you can ask some questions and not feel like, you know, they're going to bill you, and we're not for sure. You know, if we can help you, by all means, that's the goal here. That's the whole motivation behind everything. So thank you. Yeah, Sonia,
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Sticking with us so long. You too, Alex. You've been very quiet, but thank you. And Paul and whoever else is on, I can't see. So
Sebastian and Tracy and a handful of others.
Thank you guys
so much. Bill, Linda, Julie, this has been excellent and informative. I will say that offline, Alex and I were going going back and forth about how excited we are and motivated by your presentation. So thank you so much. And we can't wait to hear what happens during next week's, during Create. Yeah. All right. So we'll see everybody next Wednesday. Have a great
Bye, guys. Have a great
Bye-bye.
week.
Thank you again.
Thanks
All
again.
right. Bye.